Alright, so this is a mini scheme I got in the 49ers playbook under Singleback, and we're going to be taking a look at Ace today. There's a lot of good coverage beaters and a lot of good runs in this, but first I'll show you the team. I've got Cam Akers and two just run-of-the-mill, no X factor, 90 speed wide receivers, just to show that you can really do this with anybody. These are going to be our audibles. You can see we're going to have PAX burst crossed is what we're coming out in, but make sure you have those audibles set to what they were every time you come out so that based on what they show up in, you can be prepared with whatever you need. I'm using the Titans on defense today. They got a great secondary. I'm knocking down the defensive line to a bunch of middle linebackers just to make sure the pass rush doesn't mess up any of the passing concepts. But first, we're going to take a look at cover four. Alright, so in cover four, we're going to come out on our beater and then swap to skinny posts. What we're going to do here is put B on a comeback route, block A, put Y on a streak, and block the running back. And we're going to be looking at this post from Woods here. It's also very important to double team this right defensive end because that's the side you're always going to roll out to. And the idea here with this play is we're using the comeback route from Jefferson over at the B receiver to bring this outside quarter down, and Woods is going to occupy that space where he would have been if he was allowed to back up all the way. The streak on your Y tight end is just to make sure that Kevin Byard up there doesn't continue following your receiver across the field, and this should be open for a big gain more times than not. So now we're going to be taking a look at cover three. Against cover three, we run the same base play at skinny post, but we're going to do things a little bit differently here. So first I'll show you attacking the inside of the field. For this, we're going to take Y and A and put them on an out route and an in route, respectively. And we're going to use them to shift the linebackers to throw right over the top on X. He's going to find a nice little hole there. It'll be easier to fit in if you lowball it, but it should be open for you against cover three almost every time. And if you want to throw to the other receiver, you can do the exact inverse of that and put Y on an in and A on an out and throw the play in reverse, and it should work the same way. Now that play is very easy to guard with your user, so you're probably not going to get away with that very many times. Out of skinny posts against cover three, this is the other play that works really well. So what we're going to do is motion one of our posts over to become a corner route, and then streak the other guy. This is going to create a flood concept where you have a tight end going to the flat, one of your posts becoming a streak, and the other post at your X receiver becoming a corner route that's going to get over the top of coral flats, hard flats, even cloud flats. But if they play clouds, you can throw down to that tight end for the medium gain, and it should be open for you almost every time. One of those guys, one of those three is going to be open every play until they start guarding it. So you can see one more time, we're going to motion him over, block the other tight end, and block the running back. And one of these, if not more, are going to be open for you every play until he starts guarding one of them manually with the user. So now this is cover two. Going up against cover two, we have a play specifically for this. We're going to come out in our man beater again, but we're going to audible into Salem X Kitty. Salem X Kitty has this tight end route you can see that kind of splits the seams down the middle. And the other thing we're going to do here is put A on an in route and put our X and B on streaks. After we block the running back, he should beat that middle linebacker in his mid read straight over the top. And the faster tight end you have, the better it'll be. I would say about 87, 88 speed tight ends is where this becomes really lethal, and you can start looking at one play touchdowns against cover two. But at a minimum, I would say 84, 85 speed could reasonably get open on this and get you a modest, a large gain against cover two. So now we're playing against man defense. cover two man first because this is going to put everyone in man coverage, but the safeties on deep blues. This time we're not going to audible. We're going to stay with our man beater, and you can see that all three of the crossers down low are going to get open virtually every play. Man coverage just cannot keep up with these routes. These crossing routes are some of the best in the game. So you can see Y is open, B is open, the running back on that play action is also open. You can throw to any of these, and as long as you're not getting too much heat during the play action phase, finding one of these is going to be easy. You just have to make the right read and see where he's not usering. Now we're going to play against a little bit of heat. This is LB Blitz out of Big Nickel, and we're going to run the same exact play here that we come out in every time, but this time we're going to block the running back. So we're blocking 6 here. He's sending 6. You will have time to make a read. You'll just have to do it a little quicker. And both of these crossing routes will still get open. He can only guard one manually. So as long as you're playing against man, one of these crossing routes is going to get open. Even if he's using the other one, you just throw to the opposite side and you'll get a good gain. You can see we use this X receiver on basically a glorified go route to just clear out the side of B so that he has more space to work with. But right now he has a Dory Jackson on him, 94 speed against a 90 speed wide receiver, so it's a little tough. Finally, we're going to show some of the run game here against 3-4 odd. There's two runs in our audibles. One of them is stretch alert looky. This will give you a chance to go one-on-one on the outside almost every time you run it, unless they're specifically playing for the run. You can see we get out to the edge very easily, and if we make one guy miss, this is a good 10, 15 yard run almost every time. If it's not open, we can always just throw to the RPO element of it. That's why I like doing an RPO instead of just the regular slant. You have that slant coming in behind the stretch. If it looks like they're shedding their blocks too quickly and you're not going to get it off, you can just pass to Woods back there in the slant, and he'll get a good 4 or 5 yards every time you do that. Halfback dive is also really good out of this formation. As you can see, multiple holes pop up in the running lanes against 3-4. It's not hard to tote against this until they start focusing primarily on run defense. You're not going to break any huge touchdown runs out of this formation, but you're going to be able to consistently gain yards to mix in with your passing so that he really doesn't know what's coming next because it's all out of the same formation and it all looks the same.